and how likely they are to use it?
Yeah, great question. Don't have a survey up right this second, but I can tell you that, there's hundreds of thousands of clinicians that are using this technology across the board in the behavioral health space. But typically, when we deploy, let's say we deploy to about 100 user organization, we're seeing initially about a 72, 73% adoption rate right out of the gate. And this category of technology is a pull, not necessarily a push, right? There's the pain is so great in documentation, that they typically want to use it, right? It takes a couple of days to get used to it in the workflow, but once they use it and they see the burden that's lifted off, they're very typically excited about it. But a lot of it is from the fear of unknown, right? The ignorance of actually what is happening here specifically, where is it going, that type of a thing. So during the onboarding, those questions are typically addressed. And what we've seen over time is even though let's say that you get about a 70% adoption rate or 72%, you see that creep up because it starts to be ingrained in some of the culture of the clinicians. And then they hear about, the talk in the lunchroom or whatever's going on there, and then they start to see it. So that's also the flexibility from a license perspective that you can work with the ClinicTracker team on. Of kind of where do you start, how do you grow this, et cetera. We're really flexible in that particular regard. So, anyways, great question. Um,
And to answer the last question, we can certainly send anyone who wants this recording. We can send it to you, so that's not a problem at all. Um, just let us know. You can send a support ticket. Um, I have your information right here, so I'll send that to you. So anyone who wants this recording, please feel free to ask, and we can definitely send that out to you.
yeah,
Uh,
but from an interest perspective, I'd encourage you right now to scan that QR code and set up your time and your appointment to actually get the one-to-one, kind of questions live demo for you and your clinical staff or other team members to really think about how does this work in my setting? How does this work in my organization, et cetera. So we do have quite a few demos booked. So I'd recommend, at this particular time, picking your slot, checking with your team, etc. Or what you can do is actually write down that URL right there and put it in your bookmark for after you can connect with your team. You can then schedule your appointment. But again, appreciate the time. Are there? Oh, it looks like there's more questions coming in. We still have some time. Yep, we have.
let's see. Yeah, future plans slash areas. AI will be integrated within Clinic Tracker other than just progress notes. Is it a learning AI? Will data be integrated to be able to pull?
Yeah, great question. I think this is just the beginning, right? To think about what's the lowest hanging fruit. Absolutely, there's more. But to correct on that question, this does more than progress notes, right? It'll do the intakes, the assessments, etc. Think of any one of the documentation or forms inside of your platform. We showed it on a progress note as an example because it's one of the most common used forms. But ultimately, yeah. Uh, there's more to come and auditing and there's a lot more, but please stay tuned. This is just the beginning.
And
Uh,
just to piggyback on that, any of your progress notes or any of your patient forms that you've created using Form Builder, like Russ mentioned, intake assessments or anything else, you will have the ability to enable them for the AI.
And if you were unable to scan the QR code or copy that link, I did put it in the chat for everyone. So if you want to take a few moments to copy that. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to ask.
We've seen a good mix of existing ClinicTracker customers that are interested in getting started. We have some who have already adopted that technology already, and the feedback we've gotten so far has been great. We haven't had any pushback to the computer. The AI is scary, and the computer is doing my job. It's the kind of thing that you show people and they get it. Even just in the brief demo we did, hopefully gave you a sense, but sign up, give it a try, and just use it for one session, and see what it does and see how much time it saves you. And you can can decide for yourself if this is a helpful tool that would make your job and make your life easier. Um, but like Russ said, this is the beginning. We're very excited about the partnership we formed and the functionality and solutions um, that we've been able to put forth to our user community. The enthusiasm about this is unlike we've seen with anything we've put out over the last 2.5 decades. This is I remember a couple years ago when there was talk of AI, there was still a lot of hesitancy and it wasn't quite as mainstream. But Ross, you mentioned, computers and the internet and cloud computing. I mean, these were terrifying unknown concepts 5, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, right? And now you wouldn't think of doing it any other way. We're at that point where this is really, AI is here. It's here to stay, to stay, and it's time to start harnessing the power.
Yep. And Joni had a question about how she can sign up for this. She asked if she should do a ticket or what you would like her to do, Josh.
Yep,
Yeah,
I did go ahead and send her that link.
Oh, you
So
did.
yeah,
Okay.
that link will you just fill out that and that'll get to us. So
yeah. So links, QR codes, phone calls, emails, tickets, however you normally reach out to us, just let us know. We'll be happy to walk you through this, and as part of the onboarding process, we'll work with you any assistance you need in terms of learning how to. Ross has this very fancy term, the AI prompt engineering, right? How to talk to the system to make sure that it understands how you want the output to be. We're here to support you through that process so that it works exactly and is tuned exactly how you would like to see it. All right. Well, Ross, thank you very much for joining.
Thank you, everybody. It was a pleasure.
Thank you everyone for attending.